Hi guys, thanks for joining us on this episode. We did want to give a heads up warning and let you know that this episode does get a little bit heavy hearted. We talked about some serious topics such as suicide, drug addiction, depression, mental health. So as much as we love having you here, if you do deal with any of these things and feel that this episode may trigger you, then we'd ask you kindly just to skip on to the next one and tune in with us next week. We did list some resources at the bottom of our episode. If you want to reach out for help, you can check the bottom of the episode and there'll be some links where you can get some help. Thanks again. We'll see you next week on the next episode if you decide to skip this one. Love you guys. Thank you.
Hi everyone, welcome to our weekly podcast, Four Sisters Rambling. Well, actually, it's two pairs of sisters, Monica and Diana, and Veronica and me, Angie.
In this podcast, you'll get to know each one of us and hear our ramblings about life.
We hope you can join us weekly. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube. If you would like to see more of us, please follow us on Instagram at Four Sisters Rambling.
Welcome back.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Episode 4. Thank you to everyone who's been listening this far and made it through episode 1, 2, 3, and today's episode. Last week we talked about relationships and love. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Hopefully Veronica and Monica did not get into a fight after that.
She left to Mexico,
No.
guys.
Oh,
She did go to Mexico. She go on vacation. She left me.
It was great.
You guys had a good
stole her.
time?
Yes,
You were
it
there
was a
for
great
4
time.
days?
Yeah, 4 days. It
How
was beautiful.
fun.
Came in, last night at 10. Yeah.
Yeah, it was long. For me, it was only 4 days. I'm sorry. For you guys, it was only 4 days. For me, it was like eternity. It was horrible sleeping along. We have a lot of pets, but it just sucks. I'm not used to it at all.
Oh, see, this is true love. So
I
everyone
missed
can
her.
learn a thing from you.
Yeah.
She
too.
came back smelling like pastora, but I was
My
like, I
hair
don't
still
care.
smells like
She's like, it smells like iron. I was like, wow, okay.
It's like, come at me.
Yeah, Pastora is
Let me
our
hug you.
little town in San Luis Potosí, Mexico. Pastora, shout out to all the peeps out there. Although a lot of them don't speak English, but
So
It's okay.
fun.
there, love
Yeah.
it.
Well, today we'll be talking about failures and overcoming obstacles. I'm going to go ahead and start with mine, which is a big one for actually me and Diana. A huge obstacle in our, well, no, should I say obstacle? Yeah, it was.
That was an
Raising
obstacle.
raising
I love him.
a 14-year-old boy and trying to make him into a
He was
man.
around 12.
Yeah.
I think he was about 12 or
He
13.
was right around 12, and our parents actually left to Mexico, and David begged us to come back to the U.S., and we said, okay, come back. We thought it was so
Without
easy.
our parents.
Yeah, without parents. So we thought it would be easy to raise him. I was like,
I
okay.
was 21.
I think you were 21.
No,
I was,
yeah.
and I was 19.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were for sure young as well and dumb for
Very
sure.
dumb.
We thought it would be easy to just tell David, "Oh, go to school, do good, and
You can do it.
yeah, no, it was it was kind of
We
difficult.
felt at the end we were more damaging him than anything, but I mean, I think we did okay.
Yeah, I think we did
Overall.
okay overall. Yeah, we went
How old is
through.
he now?
He's 21 now.
Whoa.
Yeah, but
Turning 22 next month.
Yes.
He's turning 22 next month,
Wow.
but
Yeah.
a huge
Yeah.
thing that happened with us is that we assumed that drugs were never going to be a part of
Our lives.
our lives. Like we would never have had someone that would suffer with addiction. And when it happened to David, we were so caught off guard. We
We didn't know how to handle it.
yeah, we didn't know how to handle it whatsoever. And Veronica tried to help us too, but it was becoming a toxic relationship there. We were all having like this argument over this boy that needed to have some guidance. And we were, I would cry because I felt
I
like,
cried a lot.
I
It
felt
was
like we
it
were
was love.
failing.
I feel like for you guys was love. You guys saw this kid and you guys were like, oh my God, that's my little brother. How do I do it? And then on mine, I mean, he's, I've been with him since he was little, but for me, it was like I was outside the box because he's not my brother, and I didn't have like that connection that they have. And to me, it was kind of like, no, let's shake him off, let's get him to it. But Monica she was torn. She wanted the best for him, and,
Yeah.
and
You
she's-
wanted to show him like tough love. Like,
yeah, I wanted to
Yes.
together.
because in our family, like there was no such thing as blah blah blah. And it's funny you say because we're going, it ended up happening in our family. But like Monica was saying, it was hard. But I feel like it was their love for him was breaking them internally as well.
Yes, because so David was addicted to, he still is, he says it's always going to be a thing for him.
Yep.
He is addicted to oxycodone,
Vicodin,
prescription pills,
Alprazolam.
codeine, and he used to smoke it, snort it, and he never injected it, so he says. And that was awful. Like
it was horrible.
Horrible. He was, I think,
A different human being.
How did he get into that? Did he ever say?
no.
I think you know how they say weed isn't a gateway drug? I think
It
For
was
him.
for him. It
For
was.
him.
Yeah.
He wanted something higher.
Stronger, yes.
Stronger.
And he didn't have money to pay for weed, but guess what, honey? Pills are like what, $2, $5. Xanax was the thing he started with, and then it progressed to to all that other stuff, the oxycodone.
And we also
all
had
that.
medicine around the house because Diana, for her dogs,
Yeah,
our
her
animals,
dogs, yeah.
I had some pills that, when Vanya had like a surgery on her tongue, I also cut my finger at work, and they gave me some like, narcotics for me to like take care of. I was like scared to use it, so I opted not to. So they were just kind of hanging around. And we didn't think anything. Like we were young, and we were trying to like, maintain the house, maintain our personal life, everything. And now we have this kid. We have never been through that before, so it was hard for all of us. So
Definitely.
we just didn't like. Standing now and looking at it, we're like, oh, we could have done this, and that.
Definitely,
better.
I hate.
Hindsight is 2020 though.
Yeah. Like with the pills, we could have said, you know what, Diana, don't bring any, or leave them at your friend's house, and then when we would kind of hide them, but we were so blinded, and
You were so young.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
had
that
no
was the
idea.
thing. We were so young, and I feel like the other thing is that we ignored the signals, the signs.
We
like
ignored them
we
completely.
completely like ignored them. We were so into our own lives that's where I feel like I failed him in a sense, because I couldn't be that parent figure that I don't know if he was looking for, or someone to guide him, because I was in my own relationship. Me and Veronica were having our own issues then, and Diana was in her own friendships and doing her own thing.
Work, we were hustling,
College,
we were
work.
young, we're like trying to make it, we're trying to like go to the next level, in
Paycheck
our
to
career.
paycheck,
We were
yes.
like, I remember we were looking around the house for pennies to go get a soda, a Circle
we sold
K.
all our jewelry.
Yeah, it was a
bought
tough
jewelry.
time. So it was like the perfect storm, and he was just caught in the middle.
And it's scary because he was so young. I know when I got my wisdom teeth extracted, they gave me, I think it was tramadol, just like a relaxant. And I'm someone who's like, I would never get addicted to these things. Like, how can people become drug addicts? I took that for 3 days, and when I was done taking it, I was like, I want more. Like, it kind of scared me.
Yeah.
And I'm educated.
conscious.
I'm aware that drug addictions happen. And even I was like, oh, this
too.
feeling is so good.
I have a bottle of Vicodin at home, and I'm like, okay, I have it hidden somewhere where hopefully he won't touch it at all ever. But that's like just in case shit happens, like I have a bad flare up or something. But it makes me nervous. I have a bottle of Vicodin hiding in the house. I don't think he'll ever look through that drawer.
No, I don't think so.
Underwear
It's like tampons, pads, like
Her personal
maybe,
drawer.
more personal. Yeah, so I was like, he won't. He'll like open it, or if he even tries looking at it, he'll be too disgusted to even go further.
Yeah.
And then, but it makes me nervous that I have a bottle of Vicodin.
How's he doing now?
Oh, well, now he's doing better, but he had to go to Mexico for 3 years. We actually
we sent him over.
Yeah, we sent him. We had to bribe him to go to Mexico because our pastora has nothing. Like, I mean, it has some drugs now, I know, but then it was like it's very
Like
isolated.
secluded,
It's completely like the city is what, Dana, 45 minutes away maybe?
Probably about 30 minutes away, the closest city.
Yeah, the closest city.
but like the pills over there isn't not a problem.
It's not, yeah. Pills are not a problem, and that's what he was addicted to. And actually, they're more expensive in Mexico.
Yeah,
right.
It'd be really like they're out there, but you have to like it's more expensive than buying them
So
here and people don't buy them off the street like they do here.
So we sent him off to Mexico. There's a dark story behind that I think we'll share eventually, but not today.
Yeah.
Where how we reached that point, but he ended up going to Mexico.
He accepted the help.
He accepted the help. Yeah, for 1 year. He stayed there for 3 years, but the first year it was just detoxing, right, Diana?
Yeah,
Complete
it was rough.
detox. Like people would say that he looked so sad, like he'll be drinking by himself, no communication. But I told my mom, don't even worry about it. He would say he felt sick to my mom, like I feel sick, blah blah. But it's all that like what do you call it when you're withdrawals. There you go.
Yeah, withdrawals.
And we told my parents, like, oh, and my parents feel so guilty that they left us him. And you know, like but again, we all expected him to be good just by saying, go to school, be a good boy.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's hard. It's more than that. So I understand when people say it takes a village to raise just one kid.
Yeah.
But that is one of the obstacles we overcame. I feel like David's in a good place now. Yeah. He's definitely
trying.
You know, he's trying. I don't know. He doesn't have a job yet, but he had when he saved his money. And we're having him we're doing tough love now, where we have him split the rent with us, and we
don't need it.
Yeah, we don't need it. Our rent is super cheap, but we want to teach him responsibility. And so we're kind of starting that now, where we're teaching him tough love. He's 21. He's going to be able to drink. He can drink here legally, but he chooses not to, which is a great sign for us that he's like trying to overcome this obstacle for himself too. Yeah. So that was mine, and I dragged in everybody.
No, it's okay.
Because we're kind of
we all had that option.
Yeah.
With that said, if you know anybody that is in that position, and if you need help, you know, you guys can always reach out to us, and you know, we could give you guys some guidance.
Resources.
Not that we're resources. Not that we're professional at it, but we have been through it.
Yes.
We kind of understand how it feels. But if you or anybody you know needs any help, please reach out, and then we'll gladly give you guys a hand and see what we could do to help out.
I know I was just at a conference, the Western Regional Dental Conference in Glendale near the stadium.
Yeah.
And we had a speaker. He was talking about opioid addiction. He was actually in the Columbine shooting. He was a survivor of the Columbine shooting. He talked about how the shooter came into the library. At that time, school shootings weren't a thing. So when they first heard gunshots, he's sitting around the library with his friends, and he's like, what is that? Is that fireworks? They're very confused because, like I said, school shootings weren't a thing during that time. And eventually a school shooter gets into the library. Everyone gets under the desks. He said, and his name is Austin Eubanks. I hope I didn't mispronounce his last name. He said he gets under the desk at the school library, and that the school shooter comes. He shoots his best friend dead right next to him. And then he shoots him in the knee. I think he was probably trying to kill him, but he somehow missed and shoots him in the knee. And then really quickly he says all he remembers is like the police getting there and just like chaos. The police get there and they're like, he's in shock, so he's not talking. They send him to the hospital. At the hospital, they introduce him to opioids, you know, pain relievers. He just got shot in the knee. And from there on, because of the trauma he had just suffered, he becomes really addicted to all these drugs, struggles with his whole life, goes through multiple relapse, steals from his families, he has a kid, has to get like a divorce from his wife. He hits rock bottom, eventually gets a group home in Colorado where finally he gets clean. And then he spends the rest of his life, like I just heard him last year, you know, he spends the rest of his life talking to people about how to overcome addiction. So I heard him talk. And then a month later, I'm on vacation and I see on the news that he died of overdose. He relapsed. And I like teared up because even though I've never personally struggled with addiction, you know, we know a lot of people that do have such a strong obstacle. And to see him, sorry, I'm tearing up. and, you know, you guys can see a picture of him here I have pulled up. Just to see someone get so far and clean up their life and, you know, dedicate their life to helping others overcome struggle and then die.
Yeah.
And that's what it is with David, you know, that's Monica's fear.
That is biggest fear.
Biggest fear,
you know,
of life.
And that's the thing that he was talking about. He was talking about, because I mean, we don't really talk, me and him, like that deep, but I do overhear him saying, like, telling Monica, like, no, I don't want to smoke weed because if I do, I'm scared that I'm gonna, you know,
I want that next high. And like, but I told David, like, you have a duty to live for me. Like, if you want to kill yourself after I die, go for it. But I'm making the effort to try to pull you through this shit. Like, you're gonna live. Like, even if you want to die, like, no, you can die after I die. But before that, you cannot. And I told him that.
You are not allowed to. Told him, like, I'm being selfish. You are my, you know, that's another piece of her. Yeah. You're not gonna fucking go out there and say, well, fuck this, I'm gonna fucking die. Because he has said comments like that when he was, you know, when he was going through the situation. He was like, fuck this, I'm better off dead. And it's like, yeah, for you, but what about the people around you? What about the people that we gave our whole life for him? You know, what about us that we have invested in your life? That is fucking bullshit. You need to get your shit together, and you're not gonna fucking come over here and tell us you're gonna die. Because that's not fair for us. And we're being selfish, but you also, if you're in that situation, you have to think about, like, not only you have to think about your dad, your mom, your sisters, your siblings, your friends, your best friends. There's people out there that fucking love you. And if you go thinking that it's best for you, guess what, buddy? It's not. You have people around you that love you, and they're gonna suffer more. So if you care for them,
you gotta fight. You gotta overcome that addiction.
The obstacle and keep going. I mean, you're always gonna, you know how they say you're always gonna be what is it when like when you drink and you're an alcoholic, you're a recovered alcoholic, right? You're always gonna have that there, but you have to work on it. You know, you have to.
And he says every day it's a struggle. And
I
understand that, but you're gonna have to try, because we're all here trying with you.
Like, you know, there's times that I'm like, this is too much for me. Like, you know, like one of my obstacles was I also had to raise 3 of my sisters. It's 4 of us. It's, you know, I had to do it, but I was young. I was, you know, when we got here, I was 7. I turned 8 here, so it was hard for me too. But you know, I was told, like, you're the oldest, you're gonna look out for them, and whatever happens, you and my younger sister, Cecilia, she's like, you're gonna have one, because it's 4 of us. She's like, okay, Veronica, you're gonna have her, you're gonna watch over her, and Cecilia, you're gonna watch over the other one. But guess what, Veronica, you're the oldest, you have to watch over all 3 of them. It's your job to make sure nothing happens. And until this day, I feel like I have done it, and if at whatever time of the day they call me anything, I'm like always on it, you know. And there's always that, you know, when Angie goes on vacation, because she does travel a lot, I always have like this anxiety, like this fear that something happens, and it's true. And I say it not only because of you.
I get phone calls like, hey, did you land safely? I'm like, shit, I forgot to text you.
It's just like I'm always thinking about it. And then I have this thing when I drive home. Or whenever I'm driving alone, like I pray, you know, you don't have to pray to God. You could pray whomever you want to pray to, like to the universe, whatever. Just let it out, just be sent out. Like I always tell myself, please God, take care of my sisters, take care of those who I love, take care of my wife, you know, take care of everybody that is around them too as well, not just them. And it's something that I have to tell myself over and over, because if I don't do that, I feel like I go insane. You know, it's like Monica, like her brother, like like it was eating her, and I understand like her love for him, because I have the love times 3 for my sisters, and that's one of the things. But the outcome of this, me growing up and raising them, it was like looking at them now, you know, they're all alive, they're all healthy, you know, they're all up and out, they're making their own lives now. The youngest one is 20,
she's about to be 22.
She's 20. No, she's 22 month. She's gonna be 23.
No, she's gonna be 20. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're right. She's gonna be 23.
She just had knee surgery because her ACL was torn. But anyway, she has it together. You know, she's working on it. She doesn't have it together. I'm sorry. She's working on it. But I know she's good. I see her. She's also fighting her own.
She's a good human with a good heart.
Battles. Yeah. She has a great personality. So. Cecilia has her 2 kids, you know, she's also working hard. She was texting us the other day how she like paid off her car, and how she's like paying off this other stuff, and how she's getting her shit together as well. And you know, we just kind of encourage all of us to just keep going and don't give up. So to me, one of the obstacles was raising 3 kids that were my siblings, but the outcome was beautiful because we're all good, we're all happy, we're all, you know, we're all there. So
can I add to that?
Yeah.
How old were you when you came from Mexico?
I was 7. I turned 8 here like the next month.
So you're a 7-year-old that just got separated from her mother.
Yeah.
You're in a new country. You don't speak any English. You got 3 little kids to look after.
Yeah.
You know, because our dad is working, and then you're in school. It's just, I think it's amazing that you were able to do that as a 7-year-old. Like what other kid at 7 can comprehend like I'm responsible for 3 other lives and my own.
And you might think like, oh, that's crazy here in the United States, kinda. But if you look out in other countries, like poor countries, that's happening. Kids are taking care of their siblings while the parents are out and about doing whatever they have to do, you know. And to me, I do think back, like, because when we were in Mexico, we were being abused, physically, mentally, sexually, everything, right? Everything was happening to us. And when I was here, I was like, oh my God, thank you God that we have like something in ourselves that didn't let us, you know, we were thinking we weren't sorry for ourselves to where we got into drugs, or, you know, we got all kinds of fucked up because that happened to us, because there's people out there that like that happens to them, and
they let that define them.
Yes.
I'm a victim, like my life.
And that doesn't cut it with me. Like like when Monica and I have like, we used to have arguments, she like
David, honestly,
you know,
compared to David.
like I'm like, babe, like, but we are all different, you know, and I understand that now.
We each face obstacles.
We each have our own way to deal with it, and I dealt it, and I taught my sister to like suck it up and keep going. There is no way you're gonna let this, like, you know, not make you move. You're not gonna let this stop you. You have to keep going, because there's no way out, and you just have to go forward. You just have to keep moving forward. And that's one of the lessons that I've always told my sisters, you know, when it comes to work or anything, like, you keep going, like, do not stop, because if you stop, no one's gonna be waiting for you. Everybody's gonna move forward. So.
Can I also add, my husband Alex, he's always so amazed with Veronica, because he's always like, how old was she when she came from Mexico? And I don't know why I thought you were older. I always say like, 12 or 13. And he's like, how did she pick up English? Like, as a 7, you know, at a later age, how do you pick up a whole language at that age?
That's funny story. Okay, so I was in 4th grade. I had this teacher, her name is Miss Day. She had an assistant, her name was, funny enough, Miss Rodriguez. And she paired me up with this friend of mine. Her name is Cynthia, which we love her. I still talk to her, and I tell her, and she does not like. She's like, "What, really?" She had just come to the United States as well, but she picked it up too. You know, she has siblings and stuff. Anyways, she taught me how to speak English, and like we were hanging out, and, you know, But it's just one of those things that you just have to do it. You know, you have to adapt. It's one of those things. It's a survival instinct. If you say, you know, if you think about it, I'm a survivor. We are all survivors. So if they put you in this spot, what are you gonna do? You're gonna survive it. You know, you have to find a way to get out of it. So I feel like, to me, that's what we did, and that was an obstacle with 3 kids. But guess what? We're here. We're all grown. You know, we're talking about it, and it's just moving forward from here on. Do you have something?
Well, my obstacle, I mean, definitely was financial. David was obviously one, but you know, like, you grow and you learn from that one. And Monica went pretty in depth with it, so I was pretty much in the same boat with her. And you know, because of that, like, I did stop. Like, I didn't date, I didn't do anything. I just tried to get through school, get through work. And then it's just pretty much, you know, like, I would end up with no money, paycheck to paycheck. And so that was probably my biggest obstacle, just getting used to not having money and trying to work with that. And man, Veronica was my rock back then. She would pulled us through. Yes, and you know, like she said, we never really victimized ourselves because we always like pushed through. I mean, I remember at 19, I think I was 19, and I think it was like in October, was it like November? I think we just moved to an apartment, and I had called my parents crying because like I was like, I can't do this. Like, we just moved to this apartment, like some bad shit had just happened to me, and it was like a really dark place. And my parents pulled through, and they pulled me out of that one.
Yeah, my dad came over here.
My dad was in Mexico. He came, and he pulled me out of that one. And I'll forever be grateful to that. I feel like even though I've definitely gone through some personal failures and obstacles, like, I've always been able to push through because of my little village, like my group of people.
Yes.
Whether it be Veronica, Monica, I mean, Hela's been there too.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, she's kind of like my best friend, you know, like, in a way. I have a lot of best friends, but she's one of them too. And then, you know, like my parents, I mean, it's all about the village that you're there with.
Surround yourself with
Surround yourself with good people. That's probably the best thing I can advise anybody. Like, if you can do it alone, great, good for you. But what really helps you is going to be a good group of people. And it doesn't have to be family. It can be close friends and stuff. Because, man, I can tell you, my friend Lupe, she's been there through everything with me, too. And yeah, like I remember like bad shit would happen and I'd go to her house. I call him his husband. Her husband worked overnight, so I would just go overnight, stay the night with her baby and stuff. And yeah, so that's one of my biggest failures. Was I did drop out of college twice. I dropped out of Phoenix College here once. And then the second time was also when I had started my vet tech career. I went through like one of the vocational schools to get my vet tech degree, and then I dropped out.
I never knew that.
Yeah. And then, but I came back thanks to a great teacher that she always like was easily reachable. Her name's Danielle, and she was always there, and she helped me. Like she pushed me to keep going, and so I went back, finished up my vet tech degree, and so now I love my career. I feel like I love being a veterinary technician. This is where I want to be for a long time. And yeah, and other than that, you know, I overcame like Vito said, abuse. You know, like that shit's evil, man. That destroys girls and boys too, and it creates a dark spot in everybody's dark mind. You know. But I think that as long as you have a good group of people and, you know, try to push forward, you're going to be fine. Like, and I feel terrible for those that, you know, have to overcome that shit alone. And that's why they probably get dragged to dark places. Like, I remember I almost became a webcam girl.
Yes, she did. I remember.
Yes, I did.
I told her you're not doing that. You can't. I was like,
I saw I could block Arizona
everything.
people. I was like, nobody in my state will see me. I'm gonna do great. I'm gonna be great. And man, I could have had a Snapchat premiere like premiere thing right now.
Although, real quick, if you want to do that and that's your goal,
go for it. That's absolutely
but you
right.
didn't want to do it. That would have been the failure.
Because that secretly would have been a failure for me because that's not where I wanted to go. Man, I mean, certainly we all feel sexy when we take pictures and stuff, and certainly I was like, I can do this. It's easy money. I looked at how much I would charge. Like
She did her homework.
I was I think I was like 19. I'm pretty sure I was 19. I was living in an expensive apartment, and like that was before I called my dad, like in desperation. And that was it. And then Hannah, what about your obstacles?
Oh man.
Oh yeah, what were you?
Where do we start? Well, Veronica and I shared a lot of the same obstacles.
That's true.
I feel like, you know, when we talk about failure, I failed at a lot of stuff, like over and over and over. Like the list of my failures is so long, whether they're small. Like I've always wanted to play the guitar. I've always wanted to become like a sketch artist. Like I've just like always been really bad. Like you guys can look at my sketchbook and laugh because I'm just so bad at so many things that I've always wanted to accomplish. So failure is just a thing that I've gotten really comfortable with, but I'm okay with it. I feel like I've also, because of the failure, I've just become like a fighter. Like I know how to keep fighting towards things that I want. That includes like where I'm at right now. Like my road to becoming a dental hygienist was so difficult and has been so hard. And even that, like I didn't want to be a dental hygienist. I wanted to be a dentist. Like if you asked me when I was in like kindergarten, second grade, third grade, ever since I was little, I wanted to be a dentist. I didn't know that at that time I was an undocumented immigrant, which is like a very touchy subject, obviously, to put out there. I wish I could go more in depth into it, but obviously for legal reasons, I'm going to keep it very generic. But yeah, I didn't even know until I was in the 8th grade. No, actually until I was a freshman in high school that I was an illegal immigrant. I remember when I was in middle school, you know, I always achieved academically. Like I was always just a bright kid, not because I was naturally smart, but because I worked really hard. I remember in 8th grade, I exceeded all of my aims, which is the Arizona standardized testing. And I just remember a teacher really clearly saying, oh, all you have to do is do this again in high school and you get a full ride to college. So in my head, I was like, oh, okay, this was easy. Like I just have to score well in tests and I'll go to college. Get to high school, exceed all my AIMS tests, go talk to a school counselor. She's like, oh no, honey, sorry, this is only for U.S. citizens. And I was
And
like,
you went to an Ivy League school.
yeah, well, I was in the IB program, which is a really, it's up there with like AP courses. They prepare you to go into Ivy League schools, you know, so that you can do like Harvard, all these things. Most kids that I went to school with, they didn't. Everyone went to ASU, U of A, you know. So a couple of people, you know, I have a friend that went to Harvard, another one's at Yale, another one's at MIT. So yeah, these like big name brand schools. And I always thought like, I'm gonna go to one of these big name brand schools. Like I worked so hard, like I'm gonna get there. Even after I found out that I was undocumented, that, you know, I couldn't qualify for in-state tuition, anything. I still was like, I'm gonna be a dentist. I'm gonna make it there. I don't care how, I'm gonna get there. Like in my head, I was like, I'm special. Like somehow something's gonna work out and I'm gonna get there. I know we had a counselor go talk to us about like doing dual enrollment, how to get college credits while you're in high school. And I raised my hand in class and I asked her, I was like, oh, does this apply to non-US citizens? And this bitch, and you know, I'm sorry for my word, but she just looked at me and she had a smirk on her face and she was like, well, honey, college isn't for everyone. And like, I like silently sobbed in my chair because
I didn't know that happened.
yeah, it was. I
What a
remember, it was in
bitch.
my French period class. It was like my junior year of high school, and I'm over here. I had just, you know, realized that okay, I don't have the same resources all of my peers do, so I'm gonna figure out a way. So I was like, okay, maybe dual enrollment. And she's like, well, college isn't for everyone. She wasn't like, oh well, let's figure out what resources you have.
She wasn't helpful.
She wasn't helpful.
Yeah.
And you know, I learned that the hard way. Not everyone you meet is gonna be helpful. She taught me that, so I guess in some way I am grateful. But it just like it crushed me. And I remember I was just like, I'm not gonna go to college. I'm not gonna be anyone. Well, anyway, long story short, I did end up getting to college. The way I did that was when I graduated from high school, I worked 3 jobs. I worked at Payless. Which was my day job from like 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. In the afternoon, I would go to school from like 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. I would take night classes. And then I worked at a senior living home, the night shift, 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. And I would just sleep in the parking lot at school, like just in between. I would find like, for about 4 years, I probably only got like 4 hours of sleep every day. And I was just so mentally drained all the
You
time.
would see a lot of zombies.
Yeah.
I just like,
Zombie hella.
it was hard. I even like, you know, my boyfriend at the time that I was in a serious relationship, he started cheating on me. And when we had a heart to heart talk, I was like, why would you cheat on me? Like, you know, he was like, you work too much. Like you didn't have any time. Like you just worked too much. And like, that was part of the sacrifice, you know? Again, like Diana was talking about having a village, like Monica and Veronica, like, could I have done this alone? No, there's no way. Monica and Veronica would pack lunches for me. When my car would break down, they'd take me to school. Like there was always someone I could call to when I just was like about to give up. And yeah, like I used all that money that I would make from my Brookdale, shout out to Brookdale Senior Living Home. If your mama needs a retirement home, all the money that I made there and at Payless, everything would go to my college. I was really lucky that at the time a law was passed so that DACA recipients could pay in-state tuition. It was still really expensive, you know. Every single penny out of my paychecks went to my tuition. But like we made it somehow, and 4 years of college, 2 years, you know, community college, and then I did another 2 years in the dental hygiene program. I don't know how, but we made it. I had people that studied with me, teachers that really pushed me, and like, you know, I've been graduated for 2 years now. I love my career. You know, I make great money. It's very flexible. I still want to look into maybe becoming a dentist down the line. Maybe, I don't know, my feelings have changed towards that a little bit, but it's like, man, overcoming all those obstacles, like I just sometimes sit on the couch and like look over at my husband and like just think about like my family, and I'm like, man, like I love my life. And even though it's been so difficult, I appreciate every single obstacle that was put in my way to make me the person I am today.
That's funny you said, because she put on her Instagram, she put a post like me and my natural habitat, and she's, you know, on her coffee and on her phone, and you know, like I look at it and it's like, oh my God, like, you know, you're there if you're there. Like back then when you were sleeping in, you're sleeping in the parking lot at Rio Salado's college, community college, and you're like, when am I gonna be there? When am I gonna be there? Honey, you're there.
I know.
Like you made it.
Yeah.
Like, you're making bank, you have a
Yes.
fucking wonderful husband. Like he is amazing. You have a home, you have your pets, you're there. And when you were talking about like going, when you were struggling and stuff, like we were all struggling, but we all managed to, like, if Hela was struggling with gas or whatever, I'll be like, here, I'll
It was
give
every
you.
weekend.
It was like, here's money. Here, I would give her like cash, and I would use my credit card. If Diana needed gas, like it's like, here, thank God for those credit. That's why we have so many credit cards, because like, we would use them. We have them for so long. But it's like one of those things. Like I remember there was times where like Hela would be like, hey, I don't have time. Can you guys make me lunch? Monica's like, yeah, it's in the mailbox.
Yeah.
And Hela
Yeah.
would like just drive with her Mustang, because my dad bought her this Mustang like years ago.
When I was
He
in
still
high
has
school.
it. And it was like really beat up, but it was like, it would take her to school and back, and like she'll stop with her Mustang, just didn't even say hi. She'll just like grab her food from the mailbox and be on her way, and
Get to
then
work.
get to
Yeah.
work. If we find out, she didn't really want to like tell us that she was like not eating or anything, so we'll like go to her job in the middle of the night to drop off food, or
Yes.
go do all this stuff for her, and it was little things like that.
Another big one was your car would always break
Always,
down.
all
Yeah.
the
It was
time.
always
And it was like
that.
Veronica,
Yeah.
who works really. How many miles do you work from your house?
like 17 or 20 or something
Yeah,
like that.
she worked so far from her where she said, here, take my car. I'm gonna light rail. I'm gonna take the city
Yeah.
bus. Like, and it was like, I was always so in shock. Like I would tear up because I was like, how can these people love me so much that they want to see me succeed?
I don't know.
No matter, I know, no matter like what.
No, but
Like,
it's
it's just
true,
like, yeah.
and it all goes back to what like Diana was saying, like get your village. Like we are
get
her
your
village.
Yes.
We could like Hela, when she started dating her husband, she kind of like was enjoying him, she was not really around.
Oh yeah.
But we were there, and like she'll just like a text or something, we're like on it. Everybody would jump on it, like, oh, what do you need? What's going on? Blah blah blah. Now she doesn't really need us because it's her husband. Just like say with like Monica and I, we have each other, but it's one of those things where you could go a month or two and like for whatever reason we don't talk, which is not true. We all talk to each other on a
all
daily
the
basis.
time, yeah.
But it's one of those things that you have to have those people in your life where you could just don't talk to them for whatever reason and then go back to it, like if nothing happened, and they're there for you. They don't ask you questions. They just said, okay, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
What is it that you need
What
that
do you
I could do? And I feel like us four as a group, we done it for each other. Like Diana,
Yes,
her and I have
definitely.
carpool to give Hela the car or
Yes,
Angie the car.
yes.
Like I've given Hela my car, and Diana and I have gone together, or Diana's car breaks down, and we all figure a way out. And every time there's an issue going on, everyone reaches out to Monica.
Because I'll be the back of the. What is it? I'm the
she's
one
the
doing
engineer in the
You're at the back. You're like,
Yeah.
okay, so what we're gonna do is Veronica, you're gonna
Yeah.
take this city bus, and Diana's gonna pick you up after work, and
Yeah.
Hela, you're gonna take this car. Like,
Yeah, that was
you
it.
somehow always figure
Yeah,
it out.
It stresses me.
I have to.
And that's the thing with Monica, like, she's at home, but she has the time. We're always at work, we're always busy, we're having our own things to do. We're getting paid to do our job, so we can't just be like, hold on, let me stop working and let me go figure this out. It's like, no, hey babe, can you find out blah blah blah, and then, or can you get a hold of Hela because she hasn't called me back, or whatever else. And she's there, she's the one that kind of keeps the machine going. She's the one that
I'm the oil.
pumps it. Yeah, she keeps it going, and it's
I remember when I was studying for my board exam, the dental hygiene, it's, my God, there's no reason for it to be this difficult. It's a 9-hour, you take a bunch of them, you have a lot of clinical ones, but once you get through those, you have to take a practical one, 9 hours long. You sit in front of a computer. If you finish before the 9 hours, great. If not, But when I was studying for it, Monica was always like, hey, I made food at the house. Come eat and study here. Hey, like, it's quiet here. Like, Monica was always, like, figuring out how to push me.
Yeah.
so find yourself a Monica.
Everyone
Find
needs
yourself a Monica.
Yeah, find yourself a me.
For me, I have another obstacle, and it's what Angie was saying, being an immigrant. Again, we showed up here really early in our lives. I went to school. I was at Metro Tech. I did fire and science. I was picked up by I think it was Rio Salado fire, and they wanted a female. They're like, hey, we want to do it. You're showing that you could do it. You have knowledge. Da 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 da. So I was really excited, and they're like, yeah, all you need is your social.
We were in
and
high school.
I was so excited. I was ready to go. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna, at that time I was like, we're gonna pay you 18 an hour to start. Once you graduate, you're gonna move here, blah blah. It's gonna be this much work. We're gonna get you, like, you know, you have to have your own debit card. Everything's gonna be all automatic, blah blah blah. It's gonna be great. And I was like, oh my god, yes. They're like, we need a female in the team because, you know, it's gonna make us grow more. And then he's like, and you fit the criteria, you know, because I'm a female.
Badass.
You know, I'm a female.
I remember watching her carry the fire. Like, I remember seeing you during your drills.
Thought she was totally gonna do fire.
So that was my thing. And then once they said, hey, yeah, well, I went through my interview. They were like, okay, congratulations, you're hired. You know, da 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 da. This is gonna happen. You know, they give you like a little line of what you're gonna do. And then they asked me for a social, and I said, oh yeah, I'll go get it. And I'm like, wait, what is, like, I don't have one. And that like crashed my world. And it was like, oh man, like what do I do now? There's like no way, because then they also told me like, well, let's find out if we could do it to where you're volunteering and you could work on your process on getting it. We'll help you. And they're like, no, because it's going to be overseas. It's going to be really hard, because we were going to go overseas. So because it's wildfire, it wasn't like you know,
You'd be like in Australia.
yeah,
right
with the
now.
fire. Yeah, it wasn't, you know, domestic or anything like that. So I was like, oh man, like, what do I do now? Like, it was just
And
hard.
during your time, like, I feel really grateful. I had DACA going to school. Like,
Yeah.
you didn't have.
I had
there's nothing.
I was like,
Yes.
what am I gonna do? That's when like everything hit me. Like, wait, you're telling me I busted my ass. I worked so hard. I did all the tests, like, kind of like what Angie did, you know. But she had DACA at the time, and I'm like, and I didn't have anything. So I was like, oh my god. But thank God, after that happened, you know, I was able to work in the kitchen for a little bit, like helping out here and there, doing like little small gigs here and there to get some money, because there's no way nobody was gonna hire you because you're an immigrant. Thank God for Barack Obama when he passed the law that you're able to, you know, become a DACA recipient and, you know, do all that stuff. So after that, I started working in this kitchen, and that right there, that opportunity from the obstacle, me not having anything, to having a DACA permit, it led me to be who we are now. I'm able to work. I have never asked for any government assistance, which either way you're not allowed to. So that's another topic. But I'm able to, with that permit, with that just little small paper, I'm able to do whatever I want. You know, I could travel around the United States. We're building our own empire. We're like, Angie, she has her own career. You know, my younger sister, she's able to work. She has insurance because she's working with the places covered.
Not only that, we're able to help the government. Like,
Yeah.
I pay so much in taxes. You know, we
right.
give so much back.
We're
to
not
our
getting
community.
anything back.
We don't get anything.
And
yeah.
there's a you know, something going on right now with it. And if they were to say, you know what, they're gonna boot all of you guys out, all that money that we've given to the government, it's not gonna come back to us.
And this is just your guys' story right now.
Yeah,
There's millions.
Millions.
out
Yes.
there, you know.
I have I don't know her personally, but she's in my circle of friends. She is DACA and she works for the Bernie campaign. Like,
That's awesome.
That is so cool.
there's crazy stories for all these like
Yeah.
DACA recipients. I wish
Because-
they would all get on a mic and share it.
Because we're survivals, and it all goes back to like, if you're an immigrant, you have that extra like the extra anger inside you, and you want to do better. You want to go out there, you want to work. I work so many hours at work, and then I work with other people I've worked with other people that, you know, they're U.S. citizens, so they have they have it so easy. They have their mom and dad, whatever, and they're just kind of like, no, I'm sorry, they're pussy about it. You know, they're scared to get their hands dirty, and I'm like, come on, like let's do it. Like, you have this, you have a great job. Just fucking go to work. Go do something for yourself. And it's just, it angers me that people don't take advantage. They don't see what they have, you know? And us as an immigrant, it's like, oh my God, like what I would give to be able to travel outside the United States, you know? And it's hard, but I have to grab what I have, and I have to use it, and I have to work with it, because at the end of the day, I am beyond grateful that I'm able to still work legally here in the United States. I'm able to still travel in the United States, and I hope that this goes forward, and, you know, they kind of, you know, fix all of us, because there's people out there, like you said, that have like stories that, you know, they're doctors.
Like, our stories
and,
are just one of
Many,
the millions.
yes.
True.
It's a little piece of rice, and you know,
our
and it's
success, like our success is everything to us, because, you know, becoming a manager or like sous chef at a restaurant is huge to you, and becoming a dental hygienist is huge to me. It might not be to someone else,
Yes.
but their own success story might be huge to them.
Yeah,
You know, like there's so
exactly.
many stories out there. I wish everyone would be like able to share it and without judgment, because I feel like once it gets political, people
Everybody's like, oh, but I had it this
I came
way.
here
Yeah.
legally,
okay,
blah, blah,
get
Yeah.
in line, like
Yeah.
like there-
we were young.
You know,
Yeah.
not only what line, there is no line.
That's
no
true.
line.
There's a sorry to interrupt. There's a this video that I saw that this guy, he applied to become to get he was in line per se, and they did all the paperwork and they did all the math and everything. Anyways, he got his residency. He got approved. Blah blah blah. Well, guess what? It was like a 50-year or 40-year gap. The guy passed away. The guy was dead already.
Yeah,
It's like,
they're
no,
okay,
that's
you
not
can
how it
come
works.
in 50 years.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, then I don't, there's no line. I didn't ask to come. I didn't ask, it's not my fault. So why should I? And yeah, they're like, oh, well, you should do something about it. We tried. They're
Yeah.
like telling me every time.
You gotta jump through
this hoop,
hoops
and then you're like, no, you have to go back to the other hoop, and you have to go through that fire, and you have to jump, or you have to swim under. It's like it's just a runaround, and it's so frustrating because I want to help others. I want to be able, I want to be a firefighter. There's so many crazy stories out there of firefighters that die for helping others, and I want to be there. I want to be able to help like my neighbor. I want to be, I help homeless. It's like I don't want to be a U.S. citizen or
just to reap the benefits.
it's not like
Yeah.
that. I want to do good for this community. I want to do good for the United States, and it burns that the United States doesn't feel the same way about us.
It's
Yeah.
this can lead into like such a
Yeah.
longer
Like,
discussion
yeah,
about
yeah.
our
Yeah.
immigration system and everything. But just to like top off both of our stories, it's just sad that there isn't something more that's being done, and hopefully by us sharing. Yeah, it's a really intimate story. I normally I don't like to talk about this, but I think by us sharing it, hopefully the few listeners that we do have can,
In some way relate to you girls. Yeah, because
yeah.
that's true.
I
Even
could have been in Australia right now fighting fires.
Getting those koalas.
donate to the Australia.
I know.
So sad.
But you know what I was gonna say is that life, and I don't mean to say like, so to me, and I told this to David, like, because he always says like, I'd rather die because I'm struggling but why am I struggling? Like, I don't even know. Like I think it's like, I told him, your life is like a video game. You start at a certain level and you have to beat those demons ahead of you yourself. Like you have to go and slay those demons. Everybody's going to start off somewhere else. Their demons are going to be stronger than others.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to be the same. I was like, don't compare what Veronica and Hela went through with something that this person over here went through. Like everybody's in their journey, and we just have to understand that all we want is world peace and happiness. We don't want anybody to like my whole thing is like, I don't want people to take it like that we're saying, oh, because you girls struggle, other people are not struggling, right?
Yeah.
Like, no, everybody struggles and they have their own little demons, but at the end we just want everybody to be happy, right?
Happy, get along. Communities are important.
Yeah, communities are
Yeah.
important, and DACA recipients should have their citizenships.
Amen.
This is coming from two U.S. citizens.
Correct. Yeah, that we've been taken care of by DACA recipients.
That's so true.
It's true.
So
There's
true.
people
Yeah.
out there that are DACA recipients that have a family that, maybe a U.S. citizen that it's not able to work, and because they're being taken they are being taken care of by a DACA recipient, they don't have to reach out to the government. They don't have to go out and, because we are not allowed as DACA recipients to get any help at all whatsoever. But we have to pay our taxes, which I do every year, which, it's coming up.
It's coming
But
up.
it's like that. Like there's all of us. We're there's things out there. They're saying like we're criminals. No, we're not. I get my background
Mr.
check.
Trump, we saw that tweet, Trump.
I go and do I have my background check. I always try to do my best. I always try to help everybody. Like, we're not criminals. I am not a criminal, guys.
No, we're not criminals.
You can't.
here.
You
Yeah.
can't have DACA if you're a criminal. Let's let's just
It's a
leave it at that.
silly comment he said or he tweeted. Anyways, let's get back to
Yeah. So what? Let's talk about. We talked a lot about failure. Let's talk
Yeah.
about.
Monica.
Oh, you have
I know.
another one? Yes.
Monica was supposed to be a cosmetologist and do everybody's hair.
Oh, I was supposed to, but let me tell you why I didn't. Because I was 17 when I graduated and I was stupid, didn't understand student loans. I thought it was easy for me to go and just sign up. Oh, I'll pay. Oh, school? Oh, the government got me? Great, the government's got me. I thought it was that easy, but it wasn't. It wasn't that easy. I didn't understand what I was getting myself into. I just wanted to
pushed
be.
you too.
Yeah, I love you girls. Yeah, you guys did, but it's okay because I learned a lot there. It was nice. And I finished. This is where I failed. I finished school. I finished my hours. I completed my hours. I got my little diploma from science or whatever, but I didn't go and get my license. That's where the failure comes in. I should have gotten my license right after finishing my school, but I didn't. Do I regret it? Not really, because I don't like people. I've come to realize, very introverted. I don't know what I was thinking when I was getting myself into that.
Well, because it was right after, the whole recession thing was going on, and then your parents came back, and you always want to make your dad happy. You always want to make him proud. He was like, you have to go to school. You have to go to school. What's your next step? Like, he was pushing, not like mine. My parents were like, yeah, no, like, there's no way you're gonna do this, blah blah blah. But you had that push, and it's good. You learn, you do everybody's hair. You cut my hair all the time. You have that skill.
Yeah,
you just don't have the license.
Yeah, but I don't think I would have done anything with that license. You see, I would have given you guys discounts from like Cosmoprof or whatever, but that would have been it. I don't think I regret it going to the school, but I don't regret the experience that I've had, the things that I learned at school. But with that being said, I felt like Diana and Vero have always coated me with this love blanket. Like, they were struggling so hard at that time when I was in school. I was 17 and they're like, yeah, go to school. We'll deal with this. And they were like, oh, they struggled so much to get me through school and to get me to school. Yeah. It was really sweet.
Again, we just always hope that, you just want to go to school. Just go to school is our priority. It's always been our priority.
Yeah, that has been.
Do school and you'll be fine. We don't think about like...
Yeah, like what?
If you don't want to do school.
No, yeah, and I was dumb. I again, young and dumb, not realizing what student loans are. I didn't get the whole... I knew I didn't want to go to college for sure. I was like, fuck college, like, no thanks. But I knew I wanted to do something with the beauty industry. But now I'm doing my little YouTube thing. I'm going to start my English channel. And from there, we'll see what happens, Right now, I do have my YouTube. It's Monica Reyes on YouTube. It's a beauty channel in Spanish. I made it mostly for my family and, for us to all connect. Because my family in Mexico, all the girls love beauty. So I was like, I'm going to totally show them.
She did extensions last week, but she'll never do again.
No, I will never. My cousin, I bless her heart. She's like, "Oh, will you do my extension?" I was like, "Yeah, let's do it." Stupid. I stood up. I was standing for 9 hours, right, Diana?
Yeah.
It was a long.
I fell asleep.
Her baby was sick too. It was a mess. Oh, all the signs. No, man. Oh, it was awful. But over all of that, I think that it was a great experience going to school.
You have a good skill.
I do.
You have a magic hand touch. You do. Every time it's true. Every time you cut someone's hair.
And Angie met her husband when I did her makeup, and I credit myself.
Yes, can I tell you guys, whenever Monica touches me, whenever she does my makeup, my hair, I get hit at the bars so much. I swear to God, I feel like the hottest woman on earth because I get so many numbers. Guys will just buy me drinks, and the bartender will just be leaving me drinks like, it's from this guy, it's from that guy. And yes, when Monica did my makeup, that's when Alex was yelling at me from across the street, hey, he was just trying to get my attention. So
I credit myself for that.
Yeah, you created my marriage.
Yeah,
That's
you're
dangerous.
so funny.
That's a little dangerous.
It is.
See, that's
it
why
is.
Moela doesn't do her makeup anymore. I'm just
I live in scrubs and workout clothes.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
I want to talk about one of my failures that I know we talked about it, a couple episodes ago, and for the New Year's resolutions. I like the fitness thing, I keep failing at it. Like, I keep talking about how I'm eating healthy and working out, and I just keep failing at it. So for me, it's just like this whole conversation is a reminder that, like, even if you keep failing, just keep working
going.
at it. Yeah, I'm finally starting to see some results. I'll post a picture later.
Good.
Yeah, but it's like,
Oh wait,
even if
under
you
those
fail-
scrubs,
under
there's
my
result-
scrubs,
Your sweats.
But even if you fail and fail and fail, just keep trying.
But yeah, that goes with the same token with me. Like, it's always about, like weight loss and shit like that. I mean, we're always gonna struggle with that. That's always been, I always thought weight was always such an obstacle for me. But now that, finally I've been diagnosed right, go see your doctor. It's very important to keep your health up. I'm like, okay, well, this explains everything. I have PCOS, I have endometriosis. It's my body. It's not nothing I did wrong. It's just the way I am now.
And you feel like now you can work out accordingly, and
Yeah.
now that you know what's wrong, you
Yes.
can work around it. And
Exactly.
But she'll still have a tortilla, and then she'll be with a flare up, all complaining. And my mom's like, "No me vayas a estar." What did she
I
say?
ate, que no vaya a estar ahí quejando.
Yeah, no te quejes. Yeah.
Which means, like, don't be there crying about the pain later, blah, blah.
And she was that night. I was like, Dana, go get something to go tell my mom. And she was like, no, my mom told me not to complain. I was like,
How old are you? How old are you? I'm sorry.
29.
29, and you're complaining to her mom.
I love my mom and my dad. Bless them.
Well, that's two out of 4.
Hey, we didn't even talk about that, like growing up without a mom.
It's, growing up without a mom, to me, I feel like, I was telling Monica the other day, and I get all teary up because I'm so mad at her still. But anyways, it was, I was at the house, I was doing math homework, and there was a problem that I couldn't get. And I was so mad at my mom because she wasn't there to help me. Because to me, I was like, it's her job. She's supposed to be right here.
What grade were you in?
Like 4th grade. I had just like recently been here, So I was so mad at the fact that she wasn't there to help me do that fucking math problem. I was like, it's so. Oh, and to top it up, I was trying to erase the problem, and it was like those. We always got like cheap shit for school. Everything worked. Clothes, shoes. It was always hand downs. It was like oversized shoes. It was. That's how it was for us, and it was okay, because we were here, we were fine. Monica says I have
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, Stockholm syndrome.
what is it? I should know this.
It's like, Google it because I don't want to get it wrong. Google it real quick.
So while she's googling it, I was so upset at her, and I was like, oh, like what is wrong with her? Like, she should be here to take care of me. I shouldn't be here taking care of her fucking kids. Like, that was me. I was 8 years old, and I was so upset about it. But that right there was like, she's not gonna be here. She's never gonna fucking be here. So guess what, bitch? Grow up, suck it up, and keep going forward. So after that, I was like, you know what? Yeah, I like sit there and I cry about it. But go ahead and define it.
I don't know if it is. Okay, Stockholm Syndrome is a noun. It's feelings of trust or affection felt in many cases of kidnapping or hostage taking by a victim toward a captor.
Yeah.
So it's pretty much like that. Oh, she came from a place that was way worse than what she is now. Because let's admit, your childhood, even here in the United States, was not the best, and there was some underlying abuse there, and that's why you guys think it's like, oh, well, we could have had it worse.
Yeah, I always go back to
I
that.
understand now.
Yeah, like, and that's where that falls down to, because Kenya, we were talking about it the other day. We met up with an old friend. We haven't seen her in so long, and we were talking about it, and she's like, oh my God, that's what it is. And it's true. I always tell myself, it could have been worse. Yeah, I'm going through this right now, but
I tell myself that all the time.
and that's what, and it is. And growing up without a mom, in general, because even when we were with her, I was always with my sisters. I was always taking care of them. She was never there. She'll bring all kinds of men around, and she'll say, oh, that's your uncle. So for like the longest, whomever was around us is like, oh, that's my uncle. That's my uncle. Which it could have been a stranger. And that's my uncle. Everybody around us, remember?
Yeah.
We used to call people tias too. Anyways, so growing up without a mom, it sucked ass, but it's kind of like, you just have to get used to it. You just have to like survive, and you have to like take care of your siblings or take care of whomever is around you, and basically suck it up and deal with it. That's how I took it as. That's how I was able to survive this situation. And right now as an adult, I feel like it pains me more. Like little things that happen, I go back to it, and it's like, oh, and like it pains me because now I'm in that space where I don't need to be taking care of anyone. It's just I have to take care of myself now. And with Monica and I, we sit down, or usually we drive, so we love to drive around. Whenever there's a problem or anything going on, I'm like, okay, babe, get in the car. If we have like a discussion or we're not getting along with something, and we
go down the new freeway.
Yeah.
we drive. We like get on the freeway and we just drive. Why? Because we're driving. We don't. I have to be focused on the road. I have to maintain my anger. I have to let that Ronnie kind of relax inside. I don't want it to like come out. And Monica is very attentive to my words, and she just listens, and I just kind of speak out and I say what it is, and then she tells me, and we kind of go back and forth. So that's how I deal with it now. But it goes back to how we're talking about how you grow up with a shitty childhood. How did it not fuck me up? I feel like in a sense, it kind of, there's something in there, like something in there that just triggers me emotionally. Now I don't get it. I get angry like it's an emotional anger that I have towards that lady, but that's it. And I feel like Monica is showing me like how to like deal with it, and her mom always says, mija, don't worry, like yo soy tu mom, like I could, like you have me too.
Yeah, you girls have me. She says that.
She always says that.
Yeah.
So that's me growing up without a mom. I don't know how you see it without growing up with a mom. It's extremely
I would love
emotional.
to hear your perspective.
Cecilia, she's angry. She's angry.
Cecilia's always been angry.
Vanya, the youngest one,
she suffered it the most.
She suffered the most, and you can't blame her, but you can only like just give her love and show her.
Yeah.
But I feel like Hela and I and Cecilia are more like stronger. We don't want to show it to each other.
Yeah.
And we just kind of suck it up, but we have that inside of us. Like,
I don't know if it's just because I was really young when I came here. I came 4 years old, a year before I went into kindergarten, but I've just never felt like I needed a mom. I think that's a compliment to Veronica because she just did such a good job at filling that mom void that I never felt like I needed, a female role model to look up to. Like Veronica in my head was always mom. Like there was never like, oh, I don't have this person to show me how to put on a tampon, or I don't have this person to talk to about my boyfriend. Like Veronica she showed me how to take the city bus to see my first boyfriend, She was always the one that I went to. And I think thanks to that, like I just missed out on the trauma of like not having a mom.
And to add it, when Monica and I started dating, you were pretty young too, right? You were like,
true.
So like, and that, how you said about the tampon, I didn't show her how to do a tampon. It was
you guys. Yeah.
Monica
I
taught
spread
her.
my legs open and demonstrated.
And with Vanya, I took the initiative and told her, because she was in sports, and I told her, Vanya, because the pad was scraping her thighs. And I told her, Vanya, you might want to switch to Kotex Sport because you're a sporty girl. And we went through that whole process. Actually, your guys' little sister, you guys know this. Their sister calls me, what do you call me?
Reyes.
Mama Reyes, yeah. She's so sweet.
So we found mother figures,
Yeah.
and then I also like my best friends, Carla and Carly. Their mom every day after school. Mija, quieres comer? Mija, I make this. Like literally every single day after school, her mom had a meal ready for me. Her mom and dad, like,
and that always goes back to like the people around you.
Find a village.
Find your village. And that's, and like last episode they were talking about the friend you go to. Like all of us had like an escape out. I had at the time my best friend Rebecca, her mom. I would go to her house. She might not be there, but I was fucking eating her food. And it's true. Cecilia had her friend, and Vanya had her friend, and then I met Monica, and then I was just at her house 24/7. Like I know her mom at the time didn't appreciate me being at her house because she's like, "What's going on here?" Because nobody knew that we were dating. But it's one of those things, you have to find the right people, and if they make you feel good inside, then that's them. And if they make you feel guilty or any kind of like any negative feeling inside, you might want to step back and look and see,
reevaluate your village.
Yeah.
But I feel like we all have, right here in this room, we have a pretty strong village, and it's females. It's all females.
Yeah, that's so true. And we play different roles too, which is nice.
I love it.
Yeah, I love it as well.
All right, so with that said, I don't know if you guys didn't catch my part. I only spoke about obstacles. I wish not to speak about failures because you haven't failed if you are still alive. So my thing is get up and keep going. There's always someone there that's going to give you an extra push. Don't consider yourself a failure. There's people out there, again, you know, that are just there, they keep going, just keep going forward, and like Ellen DeGeneres said, just keep swimming.
Yeah.
And you know,
Yes.
thanks for listening.
You guys find us on Spotify, YouTube, and iTunes at Four Sisters Rambling, and follow us on IG. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you guys. Love you guys.
Bye.